Hello. How you doing? Man, this week has been pretty trash. Anyways, on our plate, is Dragon's Dogma 2 primed to set the gaming world on fire? EA has big plans for Apex Legends after canceling their new Star Wars game. Players spread democracy a little too fast as they unlock mechs in HellDivers 2. We pour two out as we celebrate the passing of Akira Toriyama and the closing of Rooster Teeth. All this and more on Season 8, Episode 10 of Press X to Start Gamers Digest. Oh my God, just fumbled all of that. What's up, everyone? I'm your host, DJ, aka Sexy Bad Choices, aka I almost went Super Saiyan this week, just from all the
Jalen?
deaths. I am joined by
Sean MF Ross.
what does the F? Geez, what does the M and F stand for?
Murderous friend.
Wait, did you say murderous friends?
Yeah.
Nice. I like that. All right. Now you know who we are. Press X Star Gamers Digest is a video podcast and us the most important gaming news from this past week into an hour-long meal just for you. We are live on YouTube every Sunday. Period. Don't forget you can support us by liking the video, subscribing to the channel with the notification bell. If you are listening, we greatly appreciate you leaving us a review on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or the podcast services you are tuned in on. And if you want, you can join in our conversations by joining our Discord at pressxandreducer.com/Discord. Do it. All right. Let us jump into the stuff that happened this week. All right. Number one, Dragon's Dogma 2, Capcom's highlight recap. Capcom is throwing as much money as they can behind Dragon's Dogma 2, and I appreciate it. Let me pull up this little video and we can talk about the stuff that is in this said video. Is it playing? There we go. Yeah, so they just dropped this new highlight teaser of the game, and it had a couple announcements at the end. So a couple things mentioned that was kind of talked about in an earlier, I think IGN had talked about it earlier on, but like when you are running around in this game and you fighting giant monsters and stuff, you can use the dynamic open world to, like, fight the monster, fight back against the monster, beat the monster. Like in this video, they show an example of the main character throwing an explosive barrel into like a partially obstructed waterfall, and the waterfall explodes and the water rushes and takes down the ogre. But then I think the more interesting thing is that because the towns exist in this same open world, if you are running away from a monster and you run into town, the people in the town will react to the monster because the monster is just going to go into town with you. So in the video, they show the monster going into town. It's a griffin going into town, and like so many people run away, but the guards are like, "Oh nah, we can't let this slide." So they start attacking the griffin with you, and it's like, "Oh, this is."
Mind
This
you,
is
this
cool.
isn't scripted.
It's not scripted, exactly. And I think that is, I really like that. I think that's a cool idea. I just wonder how many of those situations we'll actually get. Like, I think they are being a little coy about how many, like, big monsters there are in the game. In the first game, there was a good number of like giant sized monsters.
I remember.
So yeah. Yes, you did. Yeah. So I mean, this is just cool to see that, like, they're really like meshing everything together to make the ultimate Dragon's Dogma experience. Beyond that, they also touch on that there's going to be stealth in the game. There was stealth in the first game. This is no like Metal Gear Solid stealth. Like, this is like really just like
Stay out of
bare
this type
bones.
shit.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Beyond that, what they did add to this, actually, let me loop this in case I go. What they did do is they added a like notoriety system in the game. So the more you help out the townspeople, the more you do well, the more people recognize you. And I don't know exactly what that will amount to. I mean,
I give me like 10% off of
yeah, that's where I go
something,
to.
or
Yeah.
they attack you if you're in the negative.
Right. Get out of here,
Oh,
you loser.
came to the wrong settlement, Jebediah.
And then the last big thing that they announced was that there's going to be a character slash pawn creator and a storage system. So essentially, you get to make 5 characters, 5 pawns, and store them in this save data that you can use when you play the actual game, which is cool because the character creator in the first one did its best for its time, but it wasn't great by any standards.
Did it have the
This
Killmonger
character
here?
no, it didn't. No, no.
Oh,
This was way back when, before that hair ever existed in any media, in any black
I mean,
person's
people were
head.
doing that before, but I hear you.
I know. Yeah. It only started with Killmonger Ward. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But yeah. So the character creator is really good because they're using the RE remake engine, and that's like a really strong engine. Like it looks great. So I played around with the character creator. I made a character, thought it was cool, and I was like, all right, well, let me actually look at the different stuff you can do in this. And in Dragon's Dogma, you have humans. I think you have like elves, people. They look no different from humans other than their ears are pointy.
Yeah.
But then you have the lion people or whatever, and that seems to be a new addition to the whole Dragon's Dogma lore because they weren't nowhere to be seen in the first one at all. And those characters, they're cool, but they appeal for a certain the audience. So I'm just like, all right, whatever. So I made me my default black person, black lady kind of thing.
You
They
have
they
no
both look good.
imagination.
I don't.
Mm.
I mean, you could put the Killmonger hair on the tiger person people thing. I mean, I could do that. I might do that actually. I might do that. Um, so yeah, it's cool. It's cool. I mean, there wasn't anything super new about this other than just to drum up more marketing before the game comes out. It's going to come out in, I guess, a week and a half or so. So I am super interested to see what happens with this game
TJ ain't gonna see
because
his kids.
I
You
know,
got HellDivers. You got
I know.
Baldur's Gate. You got this. He might get to Infinite Wealth next year.
I
Final Fantasy, like,
the way it's going, I might get the Infinite Wealth before Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. And
but
we'll
you
talk
already.
more about that. We'll talk more about that
All right, all right,
and
all
what
right,
we've
I
been
get you.
playing. All right. Number 2. EA says Apex Legends will expand beyond the traditional Battle Royale universe this year from VGC by way of, maybe I know this one. Tom Ivan. So, speaking at the Morgan Stanley Technology, Media, and Telecom Conference on Wednesday, it's a place not meant for the gamers. This is just stock people who are investing into EA and all that stuff. EA CEO Andrew Wilson outlined a plan which he believes can lead to incredible growth for Respawn's live service game, which celebrated its 5th anniversary in February. Let me jump ahead to the. Let me jump ahead to the. Okay. During this discussion, EA strategy for growth for the franchise over the next 5 to 10 years. Oh, okay, they're explaining the growth of the franchise in the next 5 to 10 years. Initially, this will be focused on making the game more accessible. After that, more culturally relevant to different markets. I just want to stop here on culturally relevant to different markets. What do you think that means? Because I think I have an idea, but like I don't know how this would. I don't know how this would translate to like, oh, this is bigger and better kind of thing. But what do you think that means?
That sounds like marketing speak.
It does.
I mean, culturally relevant, more accessible. What? it's already free to play. I mean, are they gonna put it on phones? We had Apex Legends Mobile, like
You know
more
what I
culturally
you know what I think this
co-
means?
huh?
I think this means like the Fortniteification of this game, like bringing skins from different places.
We don't
Because
want that.
like I know, yeah, like it doesn't it's not gonna add to the actual gameplay, but that would make it more culturally relevant if you can run around and play as John Wick. I don't know. Like, yeah,
um, I don't know how you make the game more accessible. It has like a high skill ceiling compared to most other shooters or battle royales. Maybe Valorant is up there with it.
so they touched on that, but
Yeah.
I don't think they actually get to how they'd make it. So one of the quotes is, "It's an incredible game. It's a core game. It's not for the faint of heart when you come to it or you come into it." And that's part of the charm. That's why people love it. But job number one for us is how do we make that a little more new player friendly? That's and that's what you're starting to see. You're starting to see with season. What you're starting to see.
20.
You're starting to see it with season 20.
Mm.
Okay, which is really built around how you drive more acquisition and more engagement.
I have yet to play season 20, so I don't know. I'm still stuck on Infinite Wealth, but
Yeah, yeah.
I
This all
I don't
this
know how you do that.
yeah all this to say to me sounds like all right. They have the battle royale experience unlocked, so they're going to start adding more different types of experience. Like they had like a team deathmatch thing, right?
They
Or they
still
still have
have a
that?
team
Okay.
deathmatch thing in there, so I don't know what else they want to add to it to make it more accessible for the people who don't want to die once and load back in. Like it's
You
it's
know
it's
what?
it's already free to play. You have a very diverse cast of people. You got I ain't gonna call them out, but you just got a very diverse cast of people. Um,
He,
we'll see. We'll see. We'll see what happens. I guess.
here's my this is there's no substance behind this. This is just my take this for a grain of salt. I think they are going to build a Apex Legends like single player campaign
I mean, if that was the
because
case, fuck
like
Titanfall, huh?
yeah, no, I think that's exactly what's happened. Like I think Titanfall is a thing that's just not going to happen because they don't see the monetary value in making a Titanfall, even though people are screaming for Titanfall 3. I think to them, to whatever numbers they're looking at, they're like, no, it's going to cost too much money to make this game to only make X number of profit on it.
I mean, if you want to keep making shit decisions and shit games, then by all means. I mean, they made Titanfall one an Xbox exclusive for some damn reason. It didn't sell all that well,
Yep.
and it was multiplayer only. They didn't have the numbers to sustain that. Then they
Hmm.
came out with Titanfall 2, and they launched that right in between Battlefield and Call of Duty the year that
Yep.
came out because I guess they were swinging their nuts that year, and it didn't work out. And now they're just like, nobody wants Titanfall when Titanfall 2 was an excellent game, but they just
Yep.
threw it into the fire. Like,
It
and
makes
now
no sense.
they have no confidence in part three. I don't know.
Yeah, they
The
have no
gaming
confidence.
world is
Part
full of
three.
bad decisions right now.
Yep. It's people with a
Except
lot of money making
HellDivers.
bad decisions. Yeah,
Baldur's
right.
Gate.
Not those but yeah, like the industry is full of people with a lot of money just making bad decisions. And we see it time and time again, but those people don't see their mistakes and those people don't get, punished for their mistakes in any way, shape, or form. So they're free to just keep on making these bad decisions and just burying everything around them because they don't understand what they're doing. Shout out to Warner
And
Brothers.
by no means am I saying I still stand on my point that I said I think I said it last cast. Don't
Mhm.
listen to your customers. They don't know what the hell they want. However,
There's a
look at
balancing
the
act to that, though.
numbers that did work and stop following the trends that are current because you're not going to catch it in time.
Yep. And that's the
And if
thing.
you
Like,
do, you release bullshit because it's not
right.
a properly polished or well thought out game.
And like, just even the whole trends idea is that like you don't follow trends, you make trends.
Hmm.
Trends are made by great games. And if you make a great game, you can start a trend. But the people who understand that are the devs. Unfortunately, the people who are giving out the money, the publishers, are like, no, we're going to follow this trend because we see this trend makes money
Uh,
and we want more money.
the
And it's
only
just
one
like,
who was ever able to pivot in time, and that's just because of the size of their massive studio, is Epic Games with Fortnite.
yep, yep. And
They,
even that pivot took time. Like it wasn't just like a
yeah,
quick like boom. Like they had the save the world thing out for a
a
good
while,
while.
a while.
Yeah,
They just were able to catch
PUBG.
who talks about PUBG now? That's hilarious. But I mean,
Yeah, I know, right?
PUBG wasn't free to play, and I think I don't even remember the systems it was on. So I mean, I don't
Yeah, it
know.
was
They
on
were able
Steam.
they were able to capitalize on it in a way that PUBG was not able to, and I don't think we will
Yeah,
see that again for quite some time.
yeah. Like yeah, just we're going long on this, but we're gonna put a little bow on it. Like Fortnite was able to get on was already on consoles, but it was able to pull the battle royal experience to console before PUBG can get the console, and like
Yeah.
that's what really started that fire for Fortnite. But yeah, so that's that. Number three. Speaking of Helldivers 2 boss says players unlock mechs 4 times faster than we thought, and now are calling and are now calling in so many Exo 45s, which is the exosuit, that the servers are struggling again. This comes to us from GamesRadar by way of I think this is Karen. No, Austin Wood. I was not close. So
Mm.
yes, as the title suggests, yeah, Helldivers, good job, guys. Y'all spread democracy a little too fast for the devs, and we got them mechs real quick. Like there was a tweet out talking about if you liberate this planet, you can get the mechs, and by the end of that day, everybody got mechs. People were like, "All right, bet."
Reallocated
So,
resources.
hmm so yeah, I play Helldivers, still play Helldivers. I play with the mechs. The mechs are okay. So let me explain this. Let me explain this because when people think mechs, they see a thing, but they think something else. And I think people need to understand that there are essentially two types of mechs. There's the Japanese mechs, and then there's the American mechs. And these are two very different things. The
Hmm.
Japanese mechs are the mechs that you see, like, for example, Gundam, Armor Core, those like really like super angular designs that like are very fast, they're very mobile, they shoot bullets and lasers and stuff. And then you got the American mechs, which is essentially a tank with legs, and it shoots bullets and rockets sometimes, and like that is the style of mech that we have in Helldivers 2. And I think
Mm.
some people don't necessarily understand, or like, because there's a lot of talk, in our Discord, online, just in general, about like, oh, these mechs aren't that great. Like they're powerful, but they're not like super powerful. And then it's like, yeah, that's because we're not dealing with the Japanese mech in this American styled like war game that we're playing. We are playing with like the mech warrior kind of mechs where they are kind of lumbering. They have a lot of firepower. They are pretty tanky, and that's what you have to play with, and that's what you have to work around. So for Helldivers 2, the mechs are here. The mechs are pretty powerful. They only have two weapons. They have a rocket launcher on your left trigger, uh, machine gun on your right trigger. The machine gun takes a second to like wind up, then it starts shooting. They give you 12 missiles, 1,000 bullets, and that's pretty much it. The
Hmm.
mech itself is pretty good. It is a thing of once you get in the
Did you
mech,
just say
it's not like
12,000 bullets?
no, you get 1,000 bullets.
Okay, I so
Yeah.
what?
12,000 bullets. But yeah, like the mech is balanced in that once you get it, you're able to do a lot of damage. You're able to essentially wipe out the battlefield in a way, but you're not completely impervious to damage, and you're not like this god figure on the battlefield now. Like there's still there's still bugs that can knock you over and kill you. Like there's still bugs that are bigger than you. So it's a thing of just like you're powerful, but you're not that powerful. And I think it strikes a good balance of what that
Has
game.
anyone tried to come together like Voltron yet? Can y'all do that?
Not yet. That'd be cool though. Like
Sword? No. Okay.
I was playing with Sabian and Cam last night, and we managed to get. It was just three of us, and we all called in our mechs, and we were like holding down the extract point as we are waiting for the shuttle to come. It was pretty cool. Although I think Savia killed me. Yeah. That game is fun for the level of chaos that it can create from like just a normal, okay, let's destroy this bug nest, to like, oh my god, there's chargers. Oh my god, there is this Buell's this bug that's spitting out poison. It does a lot of stuff. It does a lot of stuff. Sean, we can't wait for you to play. But whenever you're able to like free up your schedule a bit, you'll be at level 1. We'll probably be at level like 30 something. Doesn't matter. We'll carry you through until you're our level. We'll have a good time. So yeah, that's HellDivers. Number 4. Activision QA workers form the largest U.S. video game union yet. This comes to us from The Verge by way of Ash Parrish. So yeah, there's not too much to this other than the fact that around 600 workers in Activision Publishing Quality Assurance Department have formed a union assisted by the Communications Workers of America. The employees completed their vote with the results certified on Friday, March 8th. With that, Activision Quality Assurance United, CWA, becomes the largest union to arise out of Microsoft Gaming Division and the largest video game union in the United States. So that's awesome. Like this is something that those QA testers were working on before the acquisition of ABK to Microsoft. And, Microsoft said like, hey, look, we're not going to get in the way of this. So if you guys, once we acquire you, if you guys still push forward this, we're going to let you do it. And they did. So good. The only problem, I mean, not say the only problem. The issue with the industry is that, this is great for those workers because they need a union to protect themselves. But like, as we continue to see, there is no protection in this industry. Like, there is just no protection.
I mean, yeah, they could just be shut down, and they could lose the contract for whatever,
Exactly.
like whatever. Like, yeah, y'all can use
Yeah.
this.
Yeah. Like, I don't remember the exact what company did it, but yeah, like this company laid off, I think their QA staff, or they laid off a bunch of people, and it also linked out that those people were also in a union, and it's just like, that doesn't look good for you guys. So yeah, yeah. Again, props to them. That's awesome. Number 5, Ghost of Tsushima is coming to PC in May. This comes to us from The Verge by way of Andrew Webster. Yeah, so we talked about this last week that there's a rumor that this announcement is going to happen soon, and it happened this past week. And Ghost of Tsushima is coming to PC in May. That's great. This one took a while. Ghost of Tsushima came out in 20, was it 19? No, was it 2021? No, not 2021. I think it was 2019 when it came out. Yeah, I think it was 2019. Could look that up. But yeah, I mean, this is great.
July 17th, 2020.
2020.
Right before the PS5 came out.
Oh, that was 20. Yeah, 2020 is a loss on me, so that makes sense. So yeah, people are mad online of this because I don't know, PlayStation people are mad that a game is coming to PC, and that's all the oxygen I'm going to give that argument, because it's just stupid. Like, let people play games.
I mean, if they want more funding and less microtransactions, they need more sales everywhere. as much as possible
Exactly.
without going
Exactly.
to rival consoles. I mean, they'll live. It'll be all right.
Exactly. All right. I got a burp. Oh my gosh. Okay, number 6. Spider-Man 2 update adds debug menu, letting players beat the game in seconds.
Whoops.
Yes, Whoops is right. This goes to us from Kotaku by way of Zach Swisen. So yeah, the latest patch for Marvel Spider-Man 2 Insomniac's PS5 exclusive open world superhero blockbuster add more than just a new game plus. No, adds more than just a new game plus option. According to the tweet from the developer, and also noticed by fans online, you can now access the debug menu and beat the entire game in a few quick button presses. Yeah, all right. They made a mistake and they allowed this thing to get on. They're probably, I would imagine that this would probably be fixed
Yeah,
very,
they're already working
very
on it.
soon. Yeah. So that sucks, but things happen. All right. Number 7. PlayStation partnered studio from former Black Ops dev shut down after saying its Sony collaboration would provide complete financial security. This comes to us from GamesRadar. As I said earlier, no one's safe. Uh yeah, so Deviation Games have yet to reveal its debut game. So former Call of Duty Black Ops veteran Jason Bundle and David Anthony founded the studio in 2020. And just 1 year later, the company ballooned in size. I wonder why. 2020, 2021? Ballooned in size and signed a contract to create an original series for publisher PlayStation that would have presumably been a console exclusive. Now, the studio is shutting its doors even or without even announcing its first project. Yeah,
Whoops.
like
um,
that is
that's
just
unfortunate.
it is unfortunate, and it's just like I wonder where we would be as an industry right now if COVID never happened. Because if COVID never happened, we'd have never had that big ballooning of profits, which made essentially almost everybody in the studio. We need to hire up. We need to use all this money that we just got instead of just
Yeah,
saving the money and being smart about it. So like, I doubt we would have probably. I don't know. It's just that's so hard to think of like what would have been different between then and now. That's only 4 years. So
I wonder how many projects got started during the pandemic that actually released, or versus the ratio of how many are getting canceled or just studio shutting down. I'm curious.
yeah, yeah. I mean, I think because it's sort of like, all right, well, would those projects get started up if there wasn't that big influx of money? So it would have been like, for example, the Mandalorian game that got started up but canceled by EA because they're just like, all right, well, we're not gonna spend the money on this. We're gonna invest into our own IPs. Like, would they have come to the conclusion of investing their own IPs if they'd ever started up this super game that was expensive and then canceling the game? Uh,
Yes.
but yeah, like at this point, I'm pretty positive that the next big PlayStation thing where they talk about their future is gonna look very different from the Jim Ryan quote unquote future
Mhm.
because I don't think they're gonna be doing this whole live service push thing that they're doing before that they were gonna do before. We might get games from like I'm pretty sure we're gonna get the not pretty sure we might get the Horizon multiplayer I think co-op multiplayer game and yeah
We don't
that might be it.
need it.
We really don't, but All right. Number 8. Nintendo wins $2.4 million. Wait, no, no. Oh, okay. Nintendo wins 2.4 million in Switch emulator lawsuit. Yuzu to shut down. This come to us from Polygon by way of Nicole Carpenter. So, biggest Nintendo Switch emulator Yuzu owes Nintendo $2.4 million after reaching a settlement in the Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom developer following a lawsuit over the open source emulator just last week. Both Nintendo and Tropic Haze, the company behind Yuzu, filed for a final judgment and permanent injunction on Monday. According to the court document, after Nintendo accused Yuzu's maker of copyright infringement and circumventing Nintendo's Switch protections and selling those circumvented technologies as Yuzu, among other things. So this whole thing is crazy. It's one thing where you're just like, oh no, Nintendo is going after emulators. That's a bad thing. Like that's not good for game preservation. That's not good for, people who just want to be able to play Secret of Mana on their computer, even though they bought the game years ago, but they just don't
Yeah.
have the technology to play the game. And it's just like there was all that stuff happening. It's just like, oh no, this is terrible. But Yuzu itself is a different beast in that they had this emulator, they had a Switch emulator that allow you to play Switch games. To do it, not exactly the most legal way. Like they weren't providing the
ROMs, the games.
not the not the you have to get like a copyrighted string off of a Nintendo Switch in order to play it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but like they didn't tell you how to do that, so you have to Google it to do that. The big issue is that this company, Tropic Haze, had a Patreon where
money off of it. Yeah.
yeah, and the Patreon got
Somebody else
like
did that shit.
the Patreon got like a huge influx of money when Tears of the Kingdom came out. And it was just like people were using this emulator to play Tears of the Kingdom versus buying Tears of the Kingdom off of, Nintendo. And I think Nintendo said that based off of their like estimates, 1 million people played Tears of the Kingdom through this versus just buying the game.
How do you track that? Shut up.
I don't know. I don't know.
It's like when police get a pound of weed or like a brick of coke and street value is $30 trillion. Like, shut up.
Right. It's like, what's your calculation? So yeah, but the okay, so okay, so the big problem with the whole Yuzu thing is that they also create the Nintendo 3DS emulator Citra, and that is essentially getting caught in the crossfire. So that's going to be discontinued as well, which sucks for those people who got Citra, who wasn't necessarily breaking the law to play the Nintendo 3DS games, but now,
dude, less than 5% of people who use emulators are playing like homebrew and other shit. So I mean,
yeah, right. Yeah, so like those people are now just kind of without an emulator if they are doing their whatever games they're playing. I wonder if I would imagine that these things work offline. So I guess if you have Citra already, you should be good. You just probably it will of course you won't get any updates in case there's like a bug or whatever. But yeah, this sucks. It sucks for Yuzu and it sucks for the people who was not attempting to use um the Yuzu products in a way that is bad. All right. So I guess this is a weird place to take a break. But we're gonna, hey guys, if you like what you're listening to, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, the notification bell, do all that stuff. You know what it is. If you're listening, please leave us a review on Apple Podcasts or podcast services that you're currently tuned in on, and pat yourself on the back because you're doing great. Good job. All right. Yeah, again, it's not a great place to transition, but we're going to transition. Number 9, Akira Toriyama has passed away. The creator of Dragon Ball and manga pioneer dies at 68. This comes to us from IGN by way of, I mean, there's not really a need for the person. Aisha Colbert. So, yes, news broke about Akira Toriyama passing earlier this week. He actually passed on March 1st. It's just that they didn't. I think he passed on March 1st. Yeah. Anyways, yeah, it's terrible news all around. This blended with the next thing we're gonna talk about, the whole Rooster Teeth thing, because of Warner Brothers just destroying stuff. Yeah, Toriyama is known for Dragon Ball Z, known for Dragon Ball, but he's also contributed to a bunch of stuff game wise or video game wise. Just he's just inspiration to the shonen in industry as a whole. Without Dragon Ball, without Dragon Ball Z, we wouldn't get One Piece, we wouldn't get Bleach, we wouldn't get Naruto, we wouldn't get a bunch of stuff. He is essentially just like one of the legends. I think there was an article about him being like the third or fourth um richest manga artist or something. But like that kind of makes sense for his legacy, the things he's done.
I'm
um
surprised that he's only the third, considering how many. I mean, I don't know what his
other
royalties and stuff is on like all the other external media related to Dragon Ball and merchandise and stuff. But I'm just really
mhm.
surprised that he's only third, and like I don't know. The lady who made Inuyasha is second. She made a couple other things like
Wow.
Ranma half,
Oh,
one side
Rama one
two, whatever.
half.
And then
Wait, she
Ichiro
made
Oda,
Rama and what else?
Inuyasha, and a couple other things. I don't know. I
Did you
don't
say haiku?
know. I don't know,
Oh,
man.
okay. But yeah, that's I mean, hey man, props to her.
And then
Um,
Ichiro Oda is number one,
okay,
which
that makes
is,
sense.
I guess.
Yeah, I mean, because that's been going on for like the longest, and like for him, like it makes sense that that'd be number one because in order to go on for so long, you have to have money behind it. So that means you're making a lot of money to put out
Yeah,
money to
yeah,
keep your thing
yeah.
going for so long. So yeah, but yeah. So Toriyama was working on Dragon Ball Daima, which is slated for fall of 2024, which
I
is this
wonder
year.
how far they got into it before this happened.
Yeah, that's a great question. If you don't know, I could play the trailer. If you don't know, Dragon Ball Daima is essentially a chibi Dragon Ball. I want to say I think it's in the Dragon Ball verse. I think they're completely done with Dragon Ball GT. So
You mean Super?
yeah, it's super. Yeah, yeah,
Hmm.
Dragon Ball Super verse. Yeah, but hold on, let me look for this thing. But yeah, what's
Um,
your feelings on this?
this is unfortunate. 68 ain't young, but it's young in this day and age, considering how long people live. Apparently he passed from a acute subdural hematoma, basically a blood clot that formed between the surface of his brain and y- your skull, or a hard outer covering, whatever the hell. I don't know if he got a brain injury or whatever, or a head injury, but
Yeah,
that's rough way to go.
it
Um,
is. Yeah, it sucks, man.
hopefully all those I'm not gonna call it a meme, but they used to say the Mexican cartels used to have like a ceasefire anytime a new Dragon Ball episode came out, and allegedly they have a
Yeah.
ceasefire going on right now. Uh,
So
Interesting to
apparently,
see his influence. Yeah.
apparently, yeah. So I'm playing the trailer for Daima,
Hmm.
uh, which is very confusing to me because he has his power pole and like that was a Dragon Ball thing, but he's
Hmm.
wearing the Dragon Ball Z um gi. So
Indeed.
I don't know what's happening here, but the the
I think
apparently
he's taking it
Mechs.
back to his roots of Dragon Ball, because Dragon Ball wasn't just exploding planets every 10 episodes. It was actual martial arts and comedy,
Yeah,
which I
yeah,
like.
yeah,
I like
yeah.
the
You can
fighting. I
see,
like the shonen stuff, but I mean,
yeah, you can see in the trailer that it's a lot of like actual martial arts and dodging and stuff, and he's not like relying on instant transmission, going Super Saiyan, and Kamehameha people in the back. Um, I really wonder how far they will take this, because I don't know if this is a Dragon Ball GT situation where he is wished to be a kid, or this is some kind of no. Actually, no. I think he was wished to be a kid in this. I think in the
Yeah.
beginning, in one of the trailers, they actually show it. Yeah, and he's fighting Red Ribbon Army. So this is this Red Ribbon Army? Yeah, right.
It says they're turned into children due to a conspiracy to make things right. They head to a new world.
Oh, okay.
We'll see.
Well, we'll see. We'll see. Yeah, I mean, but that's interesting though. I am very much a person that will.
It says
Um,
it occurs right after Kid Boo's defeat, but before the arrival of Beerus.
okay, so this is in the Z verse. So this is Z
Mm.
before. What I really want from Dragon Ball Z is a complete remake from the start, from like when Raditz touchdown. Like I want a remake in that they are accounting for Goten, accounting for Trunks, accounting for the whole Broly power levels scaling and stuff. Like I feel like they've kind of put themselves in the position where they have all this stuff they have to like play with and work with, and like even like Super Saiyan God, Blue, Beerus, and all that stuff happening as well. Like I want them to account for that from the beginning, because I think if they did that, certain things would make more sense. Like I feel like in the Broly movie, it doesn't make any sense that that Goku and Vegeta have to go to fuse Super Saiyan Blue Gogeta to beat Broly. Like Broly was never that strong. Broly was fucking strong, but he was never that strong. Like Gogeta is supposed to be like the
Mhm.
pinnacle of their power. Like Gogeta is supposed to be stronger than Vegeta. And it's just like, what?
And that
Like
was
I
before
understand
all
why
the
they
Super
did it.
Saiyan God stuff came out. Yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah, yeah. And it's just like there's this whole like theory. There's a whole color theory about the Saiyans and like their hair
Okay,
colors
so
and what that means.
you're getting far into the
Yeah,
weeds.
yeah. But
That's a whole
I
whole
want them
another
I want
podcast.
them to like account for that and make a Dragon Ball Z. And like if Daima becomes like a big thing and they blow it up, like I hope this is a way of like, okay, guys, we understand that we've gotten a little too crazy with the whole beam, uh, the beam power in Dragon Ball Z and Dragon Ball Super. So we're gonna
Mhm.
kind of pull down and do more of like a martial arts stuff now that we have the capabilities and technology. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. Um, yeah, and then last bit of actually not the last bit of actually this is the last bit of news, but this is about Warner Brothers and just their giant debacle right now. Is they're essentially peeling away from the AAA game space, because I think they are in dire straits right now and they could possibly go under. So they're cutting stuff to save money to be able to maintain some kind of profitability. So after after Suicide Squad's disappointment, WB doubled down on live service games. This comes to us from Kotaku by way of Willa Rowie. So yeah, the essentially Warner Bros. Came out and said that we are going to stop doing AAA games. I should just read the thing, right? No, I'm not going to even give them the luxury. So at the same Morgan Stanley speaking thing that the EA CEO was talking, Warner Brothers are here as well. And they're going to be focusing on live service games now that they've put out Suicide Squad and it's been essentially a flop. Even though they put out Hogwarts Legacy and that was the best selling game of last year, beating out Call of Duty, which is not an easy feat. And they it feels like they look at Hogwarts and don't see, oh, this single player game sold well. They see, oh, this single player game that we made from Hogwarts Legacy license could have made more money if it was a successful live service game. That's what we're gonna
I don't
that's
think
what
they
we're gonna
can
think.
come up with such an IP though. I mean, That already had a rabid fan base just waiting for something like that to come out. That sold roughly 24, 25 million units probably by now.
Hmm.
EA is not that EA?
No, this is Warner Brothers. This is Warner
Warner
Brothers.
Brothers? Warner Brothers ain't that creative.
No, I totally agree with you. I totally agree with you. I think they are looking at their past success
mhm.
and taking the wrong messages from it. Like Hogwarts Legacy, the reason why that game sold well was because it was a true to form Harry Potter single player game that did
A
not
good
have
game.
microtransactions. Yeah,
Yeah.
it was a good game. And like it didn't draw the ire of the community because you had to buy all these capes and stuff with real money. It was like, no, you play the game, you beat the game. If you have fun with the game, you have fun with the game. But like that is what it is. So it's so annoying, and it's one of those things of this CEO essentially talking out of his ass, talking like trying to act like he knows what's going on, and like
Yeah.
and it's a mess. It's just a mess. Yeah, it. There's not much to say other than like don't expect another Arkham game. Like don't expect like I wonder if the people from Rocksteady. I feel like their best bet would be to the creators' best bet would be to just leave Rocksteady and start their own thing, become independent if they want to make those games. It
um,
doesn't have to be a Batman game, but like at this point, you can fake a Batman game. It
I'm
doesn't
just
have to
trying
be
to think
Batman.
of what other WB properties can they make live service games out of? I mean, we already had
Multiverse is supposed to be coming back.
yeah, I was trying to think of the name of that multiverses. You already had multiverses, but they took it down for whatever reason.
Hmm.
Suicide Squad sucked. I don't know, man. Let me
Yeah,
see.
man. Yeah, I mean it's Warner Brothers. So when I think Warner Brothers, I think like Looney Tunes. I think Bugs Bunny, Daffy Duck. I don't necessarily think of. I think Batman and Superman, right? I think Superman's Warner
Let me
Brothers,
see.
or is
So
that
they
just
own
DC?
that's DC. Let me see. They own The Matrix, Gremlins, The Flintstones, Willy Wonka, Beetlejuice,
Did you
Mad
say
Max.
Gremlins?
Yeah, they own Gremlins.
Hey now.
They own Lego apparently.
Oh,
Well, Lego's already successful. I mean,
yeah,
maybe they'll turn that into a live service thing.
yeah.
Cartoon Network. They already done made a fighting game. Dirty Harry,
Also,
Lord of the
they
Rings.
are
Yeah,
they're shutting down Adult Swim games. That's another thing too that's happening.
that sucks.
Yeah, and as I had mentioned earlier in the podcast, they also shut down Rooster Teeth, which is a giant gaming adjacent network where they do let's plays. Like I want to say Rooster Teeth was definitely Rooster Teeth was like one of the um, starters of the let's play community. Like we're playing games with these people and they're just doing stuff that is stretching beyond the actual game that they're playing. For example, Minecraft. Like Minecraft has a big let's play community, and
Yeah.
they're one of the bigger audiences for Minecraft. So yeah, this is just Warner Brothers essentially just cutting anything that's not making them money and trying to say, I guess they're trying to keep, you know, afloat while this is happening. I think
They're not
this
gonna go
is,
bankrupt though. I mean, like what?
they're not going to go back. Yeah. They have too much properties and they're able to essentially cut as much as they need to keep themselves solvent. So, yeah.
So I don't see any properties now that I scan through their stuff that you can really turn into like game franchises or live service games. So
Hmm.
expect to see just remakes and re-releases of past stuff, and they're probably gonna eventually get out of gaming once they don't see the type of returns they're expecting.
Yeah.
So
Like, I as much as this sucks, as much as this is just like this hurts the people who, was hoping for a new Batman game after the disaster of Suicide Squad. This this can only be a positive for the industry as a whole for the future, because this is essentially, I mean, the Rooster Teeth stuff aside, because they're not game developers, but like in terms of these giant companies coming into the industry to make games just to make money, this is good that they are seeing like, oh wait, no, like I'm not built for this, so I need to back out of this, because that will just keep the people who actually want to make good games in the industry to
Yeah.
make good games. I mean, it is going to be a reduction in terms of how much money the industry is making as a whole, but I think at the end of the day, we the consumer don't care about that. We want to play good games. If you make a good game, we're gonna buy the good game, and that studio, that publisher will make money off of that
Yeah,
game.
because at one point a publisher or a studio's name meant something, but now they're just throwing it in the trash for money grabs. So
Exactly. Yeah.
we'll see
Yeah.
where it goes. See where it goes.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's pretty much it for the news. Let us jump into the things we have been playing. Sean, what have you been playing?
Sleep barely. Um, no, I mean I've been working my way through Infinite Wealth. Although let me see, I'm on
Hmm.
only chapter 8.
Wait, how
um,
many chapters in that game? I know there's a lot of chapters in the game.
let me see. I don't know.
I'm looking it up
A lot.
now. Oh, there's 14 chapters, so you're kind of there. You almost
But I
there.
mean, different chapters vary in length, so and plus,
Yeah.
I did like a lot of the side stuff, and I'm getting to my like a Dragon slash Yakuza rhythm where I'll
Oh,
start one of
okay.
the games and be like, I'm gonna do all the things,
Yeah.
and then I get halfway through it, and I'm like, all right, let me just.
Right. When I said all the things, I didn't mean everything. I meant all these things in front of me.
Let me just. So, interestingly enough, though, I mean, I did. Let me see. I did most of the sub stories. So I did 47 out of
Mhm.
52 sub stories.
Okay.
And
Oh,
I completely did like the Sujimon side story. So I completely
yeah.
finished that. I completely did the Dondoko Island portion. So like me 100%ing it at this point would mean like just like doing all like the pool mini games or like
Yeah.
I don't understand some of the Japanese card games like Hanafuda or shit they got in there. You know what I mean? Like so
Mhm.
yeah.
I get you. Okay.
I mean, so I mean, I'm working my way through it very slowly.
Bet.
Yeah,
So what is Final Fantasy VII Rebirth gonna be your next game, or are you gonna do something
yeah.
else?
I mean, I already bought it. It's already locked and loaded, ready to go.
Yeah.
Because I don't think I'm gonna get a. I don't see me getting HellDivers. I would like to get it, but I mean, what comes next? Rise of the Ronin,
Rise of the
um,
Roman and Dragon's Dogma.
Stellar Blade. I'm not gonna get Dragon's Dogma. That's not my thing this year. I think
Yeah.
I'm gonna let you have
Yeah.
it.
Mhm.
Um, okay, here it is. Yeah, they got mini games. So there's a bunch of mini games, which is crazy because there's like 50 mini games in Final Fantasy Rebirth, and I don't know why. That's not necessary. The only reason Like a Dragon has all these games that I'm about to run off is because they've just been doing it since the beginning.
From day one.
Uh, yeah, they got karaoke, darts, mahjong, blackjack, batting cages, golf, survival can, which you like picking up trash. Shogi, I don't know
Mhm.
how to play that. UFO catcher was like the little grabber games at arcades.
Yeah.
Oichi Kabu, Koi Koi, I don't know. Poker, vocational school. They have a dating mini game in there. They got Virtual Fighter, Sega Bass Fishing, Spike. Like they have a bunch of stuff to do, and I'm not gonna 100% all those things.
Right. Right.
But
That's a lot though.
the story is very interesting,
Mhm.
as it
Mhm.
is with all Like a Dragon games. So
Yeah.
if you're remotely interested, go check it out
That's awesome. Yeah. Like I said it last week, and I'll say it again. I feel like I should have bought like a Dragon
instead of
Infinite Wealth instead of Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, because I feel like that would have been a game that I could pick up and put down a lot easier than like Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, and yeah, that was a mistake on my part buying
If you're
into the.
looking for a lighthearted, it's funny at times. I don't think they're intentionally trying to be funny, but they're just
Mhm.
like a dragon just does their own thing, and if you find humor in it, there's humor in it. I
Yeah,
think at this point, Final Fantasy tries to take itself too seriously, and that's why one of the writers, the lead writer, said he hopes new blood comes into it. So we'll see.
I it's so funny that you say that because I think that is my issue with Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, and I'll get. So I played about 3-ish, maybe 4, but I think it was like 3-ish hours of Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. I played the
Mhm.
demo. I played the demo already, so I didn't have to do that first section. So I was able to play more into. I don't remember the name of the city that I was in, but that first city you're in, I explored that. I triggered the stuff that happens that takes you out of the city, and I played a little bit of the like open world. And I think my issue is that one, I don't know why this game wants to deny the fact that Cloud obviously has feelings for Sephiroth, and it's just like I think Sephiroth has feelings for Cloud. I like if you look in their eyes, the camera zooms in on their eyes and just like, come on, guys, we know what this is. Like, what, why? And then obviously when Sephiroth betrays Cloud and like destroys the village or whatever, yeah, like Cloud's broken. Bro. His heart is broken. We understand this, Square Enix. Jeez. Is that fanfic? I don't know. Anyways, so the actual game itself, the story, it is a mixture of it being super serious in terms of things that are happening that is really bad,
Mhm.
mixed with like the mini game stuff where it's like, oh, go do this thing. Like in the demo, you play a piano, and I've never seen a piano mini game in that way where you're using the left and right analog sticks to play keys. And it's just like this could have been a cutscene. This does not need to be a mini game. Why is this a mini game? The the Queen's Gambit mini game, which is like their card game,
Mhm.
I will
All right,
say
that's pretty good.
that is a great mini. Like that is a mini game. That is a really cool mini game in that game that could easily be spinned out into its own like app thing that you can play because
Yeah.
it's bite size. It makes sense once you understand it, and it doesn't take long to understand the game. And like so that's really cool. The combat itself is Final Fantasy VII Rebirth combat, so it works very well. It is fun to hack and slash and stuff, but there is a level of complexity that you can learn by just like understanding what you're doing, like specking out your
Yeah.
characters and so on and so forth.
Understanding the timing and all that.
Yeah. And overall, I think the game is fun, but there's nothing to it immediately noteworthy to for me to pull me away from my current diet of like Baldur's Gate 3, HellDivers 2, and then like the drug of Dragon not Dragon Ball, the drug of Gundam Battle Operations 2 that I have to do every day or else I will die. So it is it's a thing of like I don't know. I want to return to the game because I want to give it justice because I did like Final Fantasy VII Remake. I thought that was a
Yeah.
good game, even though the story got very Kingdom Hearts, very wonky at the end. I enjoyed my time with it, and I know I'll enjoy my time with Rebirth. But it is a thing of just like I just have to find time to give it. And Dragon's Dogma 2 is in a week and a half, and I'm just like, once that comes out, that's what I'm going to be talking about. So, and then I also want to play Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth. So
Yeah.
it's just like, man, Rebirth, I don't that might be my summer game. That might be my like fall game kind of thing. But then we don't know what's gonna happen in the later half of this year, really. So there might be some kind of law where like, okay, well, you can play your old games now kind of thing. Or there might just be stuff that we don't know about that's also just crazy. So
Mhm.
I don't know. I don't know. Overall, the stuff that I played for Rebirth was fine, but it wasn't mind blowing, and I'm Oh, one other thing I wanted to say before I end this. The traversal in the open world is I was actually kind of afraid of because playing in the demo, there was a section where you had to climb a wall, and I feel like it took literally forever for Cloud to climb this wall when I've seen this man jump higher than this stupid wall. So it's like, all right, whatever. We'll see. The actual open world, like jumping down stuff, is pretty quick. Like he's able to jump down a lot further than you expect. And it's like, okay, I appreciate them doing that. So we'll see. I may touch Rebirth between now and next week. Tough to say, really. Anyways, that has been it for us talking about the games news happening this weekend, the things we've been playing. We hope you enjoyed this episode of Press X Start Gamers Digest. Don't forget, you can subscribe to this channel. You can like this video. Duh. You can like a lot of stuff. Make sure you like this video as well. And you can hit the notification bell, because if you do that, then that will tell you the next time that we have stuff that you will enjoy. That. And yeah, of course, if you're listening, please leave us a review. Please tell your friends about us. Please tell your family about us, because we're cool. We're respectable Black men that you can tell your family about. Yes. Right, John? We're respectable, right? Last time I checked.
I mean,
wait, what does respectable mean? Anyways, you guys take care. You be safe. Keep playing games and enjoy your day. Yeah. All right.